anything happened and any incident happened and that drive you to take
So I was
passion?
born with pets. Like, before I got into animal activism, I never knew that this. And my parents were not supportive with that, just because everyone's very much concerned about. They wanted me to be their brand ambassador. I said, I'll be everything for this NGO. I can do everything. I'll do my best. என்னெல்லாம் பண்ண முடியுமோ நான் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
So do you have any plans to study abroad for higher education? If yes, do you have any destination which you are thinking about?
So, like, it's not that I want to study abroad, because I feel like India is my happy place. Like,
so we know that we are moving towards a digital world, and so when you plan to go abroad, right, the first thing you will get exposed to is same problem, different solution in their own country. So one of the best things which I learned when I was abroad was this only. So Indian universities are more towards theoretical and less towards practical, but there they are more towards practical. So and they have less classroom sessions and more assignment sessions.
I feel like their only employment opportunity is working in cafes or McDonald's or some supermarkets or whatever. But, I mean, that's how people have been showing it on social media, as well as like people whom I personally interacted with. Apart from all of this, is there any other employment opportunity?
I will not focus on what people think about where I am working. I'll be focusing more on what I get while I'm working.
Which country is the most hyped, or where Edutravllr, your company who like helped a lot of students? So there must be a lot of students and parents who will be watching this video. So I wanted to know what would be the 3 major takeaways which would be really useful for the students as well as the parents.
So when it comes to education or study abroad or abroad education, my 3 takeaways would be hi all, welcome to Edutravllr Expert Talks. I am Varun, the creator of Edutravllr, and I am thrilled to bring you an enthusiasm for global education to this show. That is why in Edu Expert Talks, we explore global futures by giving the most important thoughts and tales. You'll love this podcast if you are a student who wants to travel the globe or a parent who wants to support your child. Join us in thinking beyond borders. This is Edu Expert Talks with Varun, expert voices and global futures. Hello everybody, hi and welcome to Edu Expert Talks with Varun. This is your host. I'm the CEO and co-founder at Edutravllr, where we help students with education counseling and fulfill their study abroad dreams. Today we have a very special guest, Keshika. She is the youngest entrepreneur, a TEDx speaker, and very amazing animal activist. Hi Keshika, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi, thank you so much for having me.
And then a little bit more on the animal activist side. Was it in you the love for pets and animals, or anything happened and any incident happened and that drive you to take
So I was
passion?
born with pets. Like, when I was being born, we had birds at home. We had a dog at home. We had fishes and everything. My mom is a big time animal lover. She loves all animals. So as I grew up with animals, it's just that I love being around animals. I feel like animals are much more better than humans. Like, you can trust them. They're very loyal to you and everything. Even if you hate them so much, they will love you a lot. You get no negativity from animals. So that's just one added, you get so much of love from them, a lot of
Unconditional love.
innocent unconditional love from
Yeah.
them. So I've been feeding since I was like almost 3 to 4 years. Whenever I used to go to school, I always have these Parley G packets in my school bag. I used to feed dogs and everything. Whenever I go in a scooty with my mom, all the dogs will be chasing me just because
Okay.
I'll be feeding them.
Feeding them. So what are you doing now as an activist?
So now, before I got into animal activism, I never knew that this a term called animal activist, or I didn't know anything about this, all of these organizations or anything. I never knew about it. So one day I saw an injured dog on the street. I didn't know whom to call. And then I was Googling, I texted one Instagram page, they gave me one rescuer's number, and then I called him, he came, he rescued the puppy and everything. So that's when I was like, why don't we get into rescues? And on all of this, when I called the rescuer, I think I was 11 or 12 when this incident happened. So that's when I wanted to get into rescues and everything. But being a 12-year-old, I will not be able to rescue, injured dogs or anything. And my parents were not supportive with that, just because everyone's very much concerned about their children, that they'll be, bitten by the thing, or you will catch infections or everything. And then I was just doing all small rescues. I go treat dogs, I go give food or medicines, whatever. And then one finally, I met Heaven for Animals through Happy Streets. Okay. So I used to go to Happy Streets only to socialize, because I love meeting new people. So I was just like, once one video went viral, I was like, all the Happy Streets, we're gonna dance, we're gonna post streets, it's gonna go viral and everything. So I used to go to Happy Streets only to dance and shoot videos, to talk with a lot of people. I met this organization called Heaven for Animals. It's a non-profit organization. They were setting up their first adoption drive. It was their first adoption drive post-COVID. This HFA started when it was during the COVID, and I didn't know that there's something called HFA before that. In Happy Streets, I saw a lot of puppies being caged, and then I was so excited because I love puppies. So I went and I asked the manager if I can, volunteer with you guys for one day, because my parents, I'm very young, my parents wouldn't let me full time. Wouldn't let me full time. They cannot always pick up me and drop me everywhere. And then the manager was like, yeah, sure, you can. And then I asked the manager again, can I go inside the cage? I'm small enough to go inside the cage and, sit with the puppies, play and everything. Like, yeah, okay. I went inside the cage. I was sitting there. I was playing with the puppies. I was, putting up collars and everything for them. And then I noticed one thing. It was the second half of the event. There were 10 puppies in total. None of them got adopted. The event happens for 2 hours. And then I was like all of them are super cute, well groomed, all vaccinated, dewormed. Why aren't they adopted? I was thinking. And then I just realized that there's no one to talk about adoptions there. I think that's the first place where I voluntarily went and asked if I can talk. Because there was only one board where it said like puppies are up for adoption. No one was talking. No one. Like everyone were just standing. People will come play and go. None of them got adopted. And I went in the second half of the event. I convinced almost 8 families and 8 puppies got adopted. Brilliant. So that was something which was unexpected for me too. And then everyone in the NGO were like, எவ்வளோ நேரம் நாங்கெல்லாம் நின்றுட்டு இருந்தோம், யாருமே அடாப்ட் பண்ணல, இவனை சடனா வந்து பேசிட்டு இது பண்ணிட்டா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு all of them were like super surprised. And then the next day the NGO's founder called me, said that I want to meet you and everything. We were sitting in a cafe. He told me the full story. I was crying when he told the story, because it's something really emotional. How this whole non-profit organization started. So like it was very emotional. And then I was like, I promised them, I took his hand, I promised them, I said that I'll take care of this NGO even if you're not there. Like that's when I came to know that this NGO is super genuine. They wanted me to be their brand ambassador. I said I'll be everything for this NGO. I can do everything. I'll do my best. என்னெல்லாம் பண்ண முடியுமோ நான் பண்றேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு I started promoting it on my socials. I started attending every event, and my parents were also okay with it, because like even my dad runs an NGO. He's running an orphanage for homeless children, for poor children. Even he's like, okay, நீ என்ன animals-க்கு help பண்ற, நான் humans-க்கு help பண்றேன், ஒன்றும் பெரிய difference இல்ல, you do it. My parents, all of my family members are volunteers in my NGO. They come volunteer with us and everything. That's how I became their brand ambassador. So what we basically do is, we're Heaven for Animals. We feed almost 4,000 community animals on daily basis. We give free legal assistance for all kind of animal cruelty. So our founder is an advocate. So in recent days, we noticed that there's a lot of animal cruelty which is happening. We have to voice out towards it, and then we give free legal assistance for animal cruelty. We recently created a world record by vaccinating 1,111 dogs in 6 hours. Wow, fantastic! So apart from that, we've given over 9,000 plus free water balls over the past 3 years, and we have a lot of exciting events coming up too. Fantastic to know how it all started and how it all is going so far. So Keshika, next question. So do you have any plans to study abroad for higher education? If yes, do you have any destination which you are thinking about? So like, it's not that I want to study abroad, because I feel like India is my happy place. Like I don't think the abroad culture would really suit me. But I think I love exploring that too. I would love to explore that. But there's this specific country where I want to visit, where I want to explore, where I want to know about the education system and everything is Singapore. Why? Because I have a lot of family friends there, and I heard that there are a lot more Indians there. So I think that I'll be able to adapt with those people there. So I think Singapore.
So I think, as you said, before getting into why Singapore, I tell you, I would like to share you why anybody plans or why we recommend any students to go abroad for higher education. So we know that we are moving towards a digital world and digital age, right, where the world is shrinking day by day due to internet and connectivity. So basically, it's more like, for example, not only going abroad, moving from one city to other city itself will create a lot of difference to you personally as well your career. So when you basically here, let's talk about going abroad. Okay, then I'll cover the Singapore part. So when you plan to go abroad, right, the first thing you will get exposed to is multi-diversity crowd. Where in India, if you, let's say if you are studying, then you'll be sitting alongside of Indians from different states, max possibly, or from the same state. But when you go abroad, right, you are sitting with students across the globe, right? You'll have students from Malaysia, China, Taiwan, Australia, South Africa, Americans, Canada, all grouped and sitting together and studying together. So while doing so, you learn a lot about their culture. You learn a lot about how they do things in their country. The same problem, different solution in their own country. So one of the best things which I learned when I was abroad was this only. So even though we have everything in India, but still the way people do things or way the people approach towards a solution in abroad and in their own country is very different. The global diversification and the diversified crowd which you get outside India, that really helps you to grow as a person also. And second, here we are under the wings of our parents, where they help us with most of the decision making. We consult them a lot, and the food is taken care, the laundry is taken care, the expenses are taken care. But when you go abroad and when you travel solo, right, and when everything falls on you, you start becoming more responsible. Your decision making ability gets better, because not every time you'll be having someone to ask to whether I should do this or not, because this is one of the most important skill set if you want to become an entrepreneur, right? You should be able to gauge a situation and able to take a decision out of that situation so that you can move forward. So second aspect of it is you become more independent. Your decision making skills become very stronger. Your confidence grow a lot, and your self belief grows a lot. And then third is, since we know that even we have fine institutes in India, but in abroad there's a lot of focus towards practical learning against theoretical learning. So when you go abroad, when you get exposed to abroad way of education, how abroad universities are helping, like what I'm trying to say is, what is the difference between education between Indian universities and abroad universities? So Indian universities are more towards theoretical and less towards practical, but there they are more towards practical. So and they have less classroom sessions and more assignment sessions. So this really helps you to nurture everything you want to do in terms of, it could be a master's degree in MBA, or it could be an engineering degree or anything, right? So how it helps is, they don't tell you what to do. They help you explore how it has to be done, and you brainstorm your ideas and you work on assignments and you develop your solutions and you implement the whole solution. Whereas in India, they give you everything and we have to just follow and do it, right? I don't see any problem with that, but then I find this way of learning better than the Indian style of learning. And but now in India also, of course, many top institutes are trying to follow practical way of learning. And then you also learn other important points, like how organized things are, and what is the value of work-life balance, especially in India. The culture is a little bit not to the mark when it comes to work-life balance, but in abroad, the companies give a lot of focus towards work-life balance. So when after you finish your studies and when you want to work, right, you'll really see how efficiently people work during their working hours, so that they can give good time to their family. So those are my takeaways, when I was in abroad, and that was my exposure, which really helped me differentiate myself from being in India and abroad. And then when it comes to country, yes, Singapore is, I think, one of the best countries where we find a lot of people from our home country, especially southern part of India, and it is a financial hub. They have few of the best universities in the world, and they have a very good infrastructure also. So basically, if in case if you want to pursue your studies in Singapore, then we can help you do that, because at Edutravllr we help you right from country selection, course selection, helping you to identify what is the eligibility criteria, helping you with statement of purpose or essays, the whole admission process. We will hand holding you right from the start of the application, applying as well as submitting your application. And then after you finish it, once the shortlisting happening, we will help you with the visas. And once you get the visas approved, we help you with pre-departure. And once you land there, we will help you there to get facilitated with accommodation and other important things which is to be taken care for the students. So at Edutravllr, it's an end-to-end solution which we offer to students, and we have many students who go for Singapore every year. So in case in future still you have time, but in case if you want to pursue higher education, we will definitely like to help you.
Okay, and I have a very interesting question, which which I was very curious to know about. Is I have a lot of cousins and my sister friends who are studying abroad from India. They have to take loans and everything, and then they have to go abroad. They have to migrate to abroad, and they have to study there. Obviously, they have to do something for their living there. Feel like their only employment opportunity is working in cafes or McDonald's or some supermarkets or whatever. I mean, that's how people have been showing it on social media, as well as like people whom I personally interacted with. Apart from all of this, is there any other employment opportunity abroad, especially in Singapore, just because I want to go there?
So Singapore, like many countries, they allowed X number of hours that you can work during your hours. Singapore, they don't really have that option. You can just study there, and once you finish your studies, you have to head back to your country. But then, let's say if you go for US, or you go to Canada, or you go to some other country, they have that provision where students can work for X number of hours per a week. And as I said, when it comes to skills, now most of the jobs which students take up, as if first they will try to get themselves applied in college itself as a resident, or a teacher, or a assistant teacher. And then I don't see any wrong with taking up cashier or jobs at McDonald's also, because it teach you a lot of skills which you need, and it will help you become independent until you finish your studies. Apart from that, now there's so much focus towards digital media marketing and graphic designing, and there are a lot many websites which are available where people do a lot of freelancing jobs. So I see many students take up freelancing work also to get some extra money out of it. So mostly you look at there are a lot of digital offerings in digital space, and then the regular jobs at cashier or McDonald's, or you can work at college, become an assistant teacher, or resident jobs you can take up.
Also, like people in abroad, they really understand the culture and everything. Working, like people who work there in any cafe or McDonald's or any grocery store, it's very normal for them. All the work is like equal to them. But here in India, if someone says that my son is doing his MBA there, and then he's part-time working in McDonald's, people's view here in India is totally different. What would you say to the people for
So
thinking that way?
basically, all the colleges abroad, most of the top reputed colleges, right? Once the course is complete, they help you with placements. So it is just the time being, it is on students to decide whether they want to work or not. It's not a compulsion. As I said, I think it's fine that students take up whatever opportunity comes in front of them, because even those things will help them with a lot of skills. Like when you work in McDonald's, you learn a lot about hospitality, how to treat people. You learn a lot about tracking barking orders, executing orders, coming on time, leaving on time, right? Learning good language communication skills. So I think I will not focus on what people think about where I'm working. I'll be focusing more on what I get while I'm working. So even if someone is offering a job at McDonald's or a cashier, right, it's an opportunity to learn some skills and never leave those opportunities, right? Because only once you are exposed to, that okay, I'm not confident while talking to strangers, that gets better. I'm not talking at remembering things, or I'm not good at math, right? My calculations are not that strong. So any job will help you nurture a lot of skills which will equally be important and useful when you get into better companies with placements. Students from good universities get amazing jobs, and mostly within 2 years they'll be able to take off 60 to 75% of their education loan cost if they land in the right job. So basically, if the student is capable, if they have great marks, if they are really strong in that subject, then definitely there's a place for them in the world.
Okay, so I got to know that you've been to many colleges and schools where you interact with a lot of students. Which country is the most hyped, or where Edutravllr, your company, who like helped a lot of students to get into?
Yeah, so in 2024, there's a lot of drift towards the Europe side because there's a lot of issues with Canada, politically unstable. So Europe is a new crush, I can say, among students for studying abroad. There are two reasons. One, amazing opportunities. A lot of colleges have opened up and they are welcoming Indian students to come and study there. Second, education is relatively, at lesser cost compared to other countries. Predominantly because the public universities in Europe, they don't charge any tuition fee. So all you have to bear is your living cost, which is reasonably less. And I might as well, if you really see in Europe, Germany, Poland, they are offering amazing work opportunities also once the student finishes their graduation. And the public universities over there are equivalent to, just like our Anna University in Tamil Nadu or public universities in India, they are equally good. So students who are really scholars and have scored great and amazing mark, they have a very high chance in case they want to go to Europe for their PG, because people with amazing scores are able to get the opportunities and study there. Europe is the new destination for student as of now, for 2024. Next to Europe is, I would say, US, UK, and Australia, and Ireland and New Zealand is also equally good. So a lot of opportunities are available in 2024 for students.
Maybe I have to swap Singapore and Europe in my mind. Maybe I have to go to Europe
I think
in case if
what
I
I would
want to.
recommend you is, even though I know your heart is tied up to your country and native, and you want to be around your own people, but as I said, for exposure, maybe for a year, go study abroad and come back. It'll do a ton of good difference in your life. It will really help you navigate through your dreams faster than what you can think of.
So there must be a lot of students and parents who will be watching this video. So I wanted to know what would be the three major takeaways which would be really useful for the students as well as the parents.
So, when it comes to education or study abroad or abroad education, my three takeaways would be, need complete clarity on why you want to pursue abroad for your education. Is it for exposure, gaining experience, or maybe planning to settle in case if things work out well for you in the overseas country? Second, need to have proper clarity around how well you're aligned with what you are and what you want to study and what you have to work. So we help a lot of students identify those inmate qualities they have, and it really helps them to take a better decision whether to pursue whatever they have planned to pursue confidently or not. And third, return on investment. So I always consider education as an investment, but it's always important that we select our country and courses where the possibility of getting our returns are higher, because most of the parents, they give their lifelong earnings for their child education. So it's always good that we plan and select our countries and courses in such a way that we are better aligned to get a better job and maybe able to pay back the education loan as soon as possible once we are graduated. So you have to focus on these three things. The first would be how well you are aligned to what you want to do. Second, your return on investment, and third would be taking education as an investment and not as an expense. Keshika, how about you? So, when pursuing your homeschooling, what are the three things would you like to share with parents and students? How homeschooling created a difference in your life? Just top three things. How it really helped you to be yourself and where you are today.
So the first point would be for the parents, because if they was not able to become an engineer, they want their students to become an engineer or a doctor or whatever. So like here in India, people always consider their own dreams and they just impact it on their kids. Like, you have to do this. So what I would say for the parents is, like, support your child to help
Their own
choose
dream.
their own niche. And for the students is to I have a lot of friends who are still not able to figure out what to do in life. Like, after completing that their 12th, they're like, okay, though pay course chuma, I just want one degree, so I'm doing this.
Okay.
So a lot of students, I think they can take at least 1 year or at least 6 months to research on what they really want in life, what they really want to become. And it's also important for the students, for the parents to understand this, because we see a lot of people nowadays, it's become a trend that the students will study something else and they'll be doing something else. And the third point would be, choose the only thing which makes you happy. Apart from like earning, becoming a millionaire and all, there is this thing that you have to be happy within yourself. You have to be happy with your job. For me, if I was working in an IT company, I would have hated my life. I would have worked there only for my salary.
Right.
And I have a lot of cousins or family friends who are working in IT companies, which is like really pressurizing. A lot of people who are into IT have quit their job and have got into a lot of small businesses and everything, just because of the pressure they've been giving. And it's not just about the IT company. What's the point in sitting in front of a computer from morning to evening for continuous 6 hours? It's like, just because they studied engineering, they're into that.
So that's purely our mission at Edutravllr, to help kids' parents to bridge the gap between the known and unknown, so that you identify what works better for you and you pursue that as your career opportunity and be successful and happy, just like how Kashika.
So yeah, the last point is that don't run behind money or profit earning or anything. It's about your happiness.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Keshika. It was lovely having you at the podcast. I find so many positives out of your life. The courage to go all in at such a minimal age with parent support is something phenomenal. Your love for animals and helping them, rescuing them, and doing your bit towards their welfare is interesting and very inspiring story. And when it comes to education, you are a true example of what Edutravllr is trying to do, is to help people find their passion, so that they can be successful. It doesn't matter at what age, but the whole idea is to become successful in life. So thank you for joining us today at our podcast.
Thanks a lot for having me. And I feel like let it be homeschooling or the traditional education, it's all about how you align within yourself. So it's like about what you dream. In that way, I feel like a lot of people like you help a lot of children genuinely, give them a lot of support to help achieve their
Yes, their
dreams.
dreams.
So yeah, I really felt great talking with you and connecting with you. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you so much. So, thank you guys for watching us. Today, we had an amazing guest, Keshika. I'm really inspired the way everything worked out for her, especially the kind of support she has got from her parents, the kind of love and support she has got from her family. It is not an everyday story where we come across a child being supported wholeheartedly by their parents to take such a huge risk of moving from CBSE to homeschooling just because she have realized that her passion is baking, and completely supporting her in her journey. So it's truly inspirational. And when it comes to Keshika, I think she's a wonder kid, and I'm pretty sure that She has a long way to go to pursue her goals, and she'll be one of the finest bakers our country will ever see. So, thank you so much for watching us. Stay tuned for more exciting seasons and episodes from us.